5 reasons why you would fail a plumbing inspection. Now, if you're a plumber, a lot of these are things that you should know. But from talking to my friends that are plumbing inspectors and from seeing other plumbers come up through the trades and things they've done, this is something you want to watch. If you're new here, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss anything. And if you're not new here and you've been here before and you haven't done it, just hit the subscribe button. You know you want to. So what are 5 reasons that you could fail a plumbing inspection? Now, plumbing inspections are things that really you never want to fail, especially if you're a residential service provider. If you're doing a job for a customer, you want to get that green tag every time. That way they understand you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. You went out there and sold them a product. You put it in right the first time. When you get a red tag, it makes them ask questions. So today we're going to go over some reasons that you could possibly fail a plumbing inspection. And to be honest, these are things that should never happen. Now remember, hang around to the end and I'm going to give you a big one that some people mess up on. And this is one you'll see on TV a lot. So number 1, your washing machine P-trap needs to be 2 inches and you've got to know how much space you've got to have between the P-trap and the inlet of the washing machine box. If you're not studying plumbing code, this is something that you may miss. Now, I've seen a lot of plumbers, and I don't know why, install an 1.5 inch sanitary tee to catch a washing machine on. It has got to be 2 inch, and most inspectors, man, this is a big deal to them, so it's not one they'll ever let slip. Now, a lot of times you'll see this happen when a homeowner has come in to do a remodel or a handyman has come in to do a remodel. So if you ever find an 1.5 inch drain, that's going to lead to problems. And if you're ever going to try to get that work inspected, it is something that you're going to have to change because that's not going to pass. Number 2, using a sanitary tee on its back. Using a sanitary tee on its back or its side. A sanitary tee is supposed to be stood up, where it stands up and the tee comes out. Anything other than that, you need a combination. But also, I've seen combinations get stood up to go over and catch a P-trap. Now that creates an S-trap. That's not allowed. Again, this normally goes back to people that don't know what they're doing. Most plumbers know this and would never do it. But a sanitary tee on its back, a sanitary tee on its side, well guys, that's where combinations go. Number 3, and I want to tell you a story about this one. I remember one of my first inspections as a journeyman plumber. I was out on the job site and I had an apprentice with me and we had been out working in another area, not where we were getting our inspection done, and we saw the inspector pull up. I hollered at my apprentice, I said, hey, do me a favor, go grab the 2-foot level. So he went and grabbed the level and brought it back over, and the inspector and I are walking up and down the rough. And we're walking up and down it, and the inspector stops and he's looking at something and he just kind of takes a second to double look at something, look back at something, whatever it is he was doing. And my apprentice trying to be all gung-ho and happy. He's like, here, you need do you need the level? And the inspector just looked back down at the pipe and looked at the apprentice and laughed. He said, he said, when you look down at this pipe, he said, you see the way the letters are turned the same direction? They're all facing up. All the letters are facing the same direction. When a plumber takes his time to put it in like that and he bends it the way this is done, he said, no, I'm not worried about it being level. He said, I guarantee you every piece of pipe here is put in the way it's supposed to be. He said, I looked back at that because I thought I saw a wet spot. He said, but once I looked back at it, I realized it was just a shadow. When you do things right, you build a reputation. But a lot of problems that I've seen plumbers get red tagged for is improper fall. You know what type fall you have to have depending on what you're working on. Man, put it in right the first time. If you'll do it, you won't have a red tag. The inspector won't have to come back out. You won't have to come back out, and you will save face with your customer by doing it right each and every time. Number 4, not installing a cleanout on a main stack. Now, cleanouts are a big deal. You either need one on the main stack, or if you're doing horizontal piping, you're doing the underground, what is it, every 100 feet or every 90-degree offset, you want to make sure that you've got cleanouts in there to take care of the plumbers coming to work on it in the future. That's why I love the fact of having a cleanout on every main stack. Hopefully it's something you never have to open up and go into, but it's something that's there if there's ever a problem, that's the only place to go to. Anytime you can do things to make the service plumber's job easier later is going to help you. The inspectors coming out looking at your installation understand this. That's why they want to make sure you've done everything right. Number 5 is improper venting. Either having vents the wrong size or not having the correct fall on it. Improper venting can cause problems. And I know that we're actually working on a video right now on venting a toilet and why an improper vent makes it not work properly. Think about everything that we've just talked about. Number one, your washing machine P-trap, 2 inches and the correct distance from the inlet down to the P-trap. Number two, using a sanitary tee standing up, not laying it on its back, not laying it on its side. It can only stand up. But again, using a combination the way you're supposed to. Lay the combination on its back and on its side, it does not stand up. Number three, improper fall. Now, we were talking about improper fall on your roof, but we also talked about it later on venting. Make sure you've got your fall the way it's supposed to be. And a neat way that I learned that is if a drop of water ever came into a vent, which happens when it rains, you want to make sure that will go all the way back out the main like it's supposed to. Number four, not installing cleanouts properly. You need them on your main. You need them every 100 feet. You need them every 90-degree offset. Don't get me wrong, a lot of inspectors will let you get by with this. If you're a plumbing service company coming back to work on it later, this is something you want in place. And number five, improper venting, using the wrong size vent. Wet venting. There's a lot of different things that can lead to problems here. Make sure you're doing all these things right. And what is the big tip and trick that people should get red tagged for? Look at these shower conversions that people are advertising on television every day. They'll tear out your bathtub and they'll put in a shower in one day.
Everything cleaned, gone. Yeah. It's like, I said, it was like you blinked your eyes and it was here.
Well, here's my problem with that. Are they upgrading the shower drain from 1.5 to 2 inch? And if they're doing that in one day, are they getting that inspected? I mean, think about it. I own a plumbing company. It's hard for me to do any job in one day that requires an inspection. The reason being, you get out there, you tear everything out, you replumb it the way it should go, put a test ball in, you fill it with water, you wait for the inspector to come out, inspect it, give you a green tag, take your test off, then redo the shower, then you install everything back. If they're not upgrading that shower drain to a 2-inch shower, then there's a problem because showers are supposed to have a 2-inch drain. If you're a plumber, if you're a homeowner, check and make sure things are being done right. If you're a plumber, you should know your code. If you're not studying the IPC, the UPC, whatever code you're installing by, you need to look at it, understand it, and make sure you're doing things right all the time. If you've got some different reasons that you've seen other plumbers, because I know that you would never do it yourself, but if you've got some different reasons that you've been red tagged for, or if you're a homeowner and the plumbing company that worked on your house got red tags, what did they get red tags for? I would love to hear from you. If you'll leave a comment down below, man, that might be a whole nother video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope it helps make you a better plumber. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the Expert Plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.